Welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Mary Lee. It's good to have you with us. Coming up in this week's top stories, we join Tzu Chi volunteers in Vietnam as they hold a large-scale free clinic in Thanh Giang Province's Dang Phu district. In Durban, South Africa, Zulu volunteers work to spread Tzu Chi seeds of love and recruit 24 like-minded local residents in Harrismith and Pretoria. Lastly, in China, we join Tzu Chi volunteers as they head to Hebei Province's Yi County to hand out financial aid to students in need. We start today's show in Vietnam, where Tzu Chi volunteers from the Vietnam chapter arrived in Dang Phu district of Thanh Giang province to hold this year's second large-scale free clinic. Affected by frequent floods and toxic defoliant left over from the Vietnam War, without health insurance, local residents here are mostly poor and often sick. Thanks to Tzu Chi's free clinic, these individuals finally find hope in seeing a future with better health.
Here at the free clinic site, Tzu Chi volunteers warmly welcome local residents and help immobile seniors access the venue.
Tzu Chi has done a great job, very organized. Volunteers show me the direction to go and prepared a wheelchair for me.
This is the second large-scale free clinic held by Vietnam Tzu Chi volunteers. Some 200 volunteers and medical staff were mobilized to serve over 900 patients. Less than half of the population here is covered by healthcare insurance.
Healthcare insurance only applies to low-income households. For those who are not covered, once they are sick, they have to spend a lot of money to see a doctor.
I'm very poor. As long as there's medicine to take, I will be satisfied. We cannot afford these medications. They are really high quality.
9 years ago, Tzu Chi first arrived in Thanh Giang province to help develop the region's infrastructure. Recognizing Tzu Chi's efforts, the local government gave Tzu Chi its consent to hold free clinics here so that the volunteers could have a chance to access the poor and sick.
I was not married, so I adopted her. I didn't know she suffered polio. Now that I have adopted her, she has become my responsibility. If I left her behind, I would feel guilty.
Seeing how love prevails in the local community, Tzu Chi volunteers also try their best to spread love and joy.
It's like taking a sauna. With the Dharma joy, I will be fine. These patients are much more miserable. I'm just sweating, that's all.
I have taken part in many charity groups. What moves me the most about Tzu Chi is your respect and how you thank the people who come to pick up aid supplies. You bow to recipients. You are respectful and polite.
Other than the prescription of medication, volunteers also give their heartfelt blessings to each of the residents they meet.
Moving to China, since September 2000, Tzu Chi volunteers in Fujian province have periodically organized joint free clinics with the Fuding City Hospital. A recent clinic was held at the Da Bai Lu village, a coastal fishing village in Shacheng Town, Fuding City. At the free clinic, over 200 medical staff and volunteers came together to provide various medical services. Through such an event, doctors had an opportunity to better understand the patient's needs. Let's take a look.
This is Da Bai Lu village, a beautiful coastal village. Most local residents make their living from fishing and barely make ends meet. Grandma Dong has had an eye problem over the years. Thanks to Tzu Chi's free clinic, however, the grandma finally had a chance to get treatment.
I am very happy to see so many volunteers visit us. You are so kind.
At the free clinic, the hospital of Fuding City sent nearly 100 medical staff to help out and provided 15 categories of medical services for the residents. Through such an event, doctors also had an opportunity to better understand what the patients needed.
Through the free clinic, our doctors can get closer to members of the public and better understand what patients need and what their living conditions are. It is a good way to educate them in their career as a doctor.
The face-to-face experience with patients not only helps the medical staff remember their original intentions in being a doctor or nurse, but also brings them much joy.
Every time when I take part in a free clinic, I feel happy. Helping other people makes me happy.
At the hospital, we treat our patients with the heart of a bodhisattva. Here at the free clinic, we also keep the same mindset, as well as when we go to a disaster area to save lives.
As most of the villagers are senior residents, volunteers try their best to tend to their needs. They not only had warm conversations with the elderly, but also gave them free haircuts. Some first-time volunteers were moved by this new experience.
Master Zheng Yin once said, efforts are equal to happiness. Today, I can deeply feel that.
Finding joy in giving, these medical staff and volunteers will continue to walk the Bodhisattva path.
We head to South Africa, where Zulu volunteers in Durban have been caring for the needy in their communities for many years, and in that time have also worked to spread Tzu Chi's seeds of love. One local resident even decided to set up a dye farm on her property to help. Recently, these volunteers joined their counterparts on a trip to Harrismith and Pretoria to visit care recipients there. During the two-day trip, volunteers also recruited 24 like-minded local residents to join their ranks.
At a regular home visit in Harrismith, 7 local volunteers from Durban joined to bring love to those in need. After arriving at a senior resident's house, some volunteers bring her outside the house for a sunbath, while others give her a massage. Volunteers also did not forget to visit a burn victim a few steps down the road.
She lives in this place. It was really cold here in July, so they bring kerosene and it spilled. The fire burned her clothes and reached her skin.
As the blue and white uniform volunteers go around the neighborhood, they also invite local residents to join their ranks.
And they say that so many people are suffering.
In recognition of Tzu Chi, one resident decides to provide her land to set up a dye farm to help those in greater need.
She's very good. Yeah. Yes, she said there's a place.
As this is the first cross-city home visitation in South Africa, volunteers share their experiences and knowledge of the Buddhist NGO with one another.
Now she's telling me that she's trying the best. Even to show me, she showed us how the way she's trying. She says if she feels like smoking, she took the sweets, but it doesn't help.
Where you sick, your mind is sick. You sick because you think you cannot go out.
Besides the home visitation to Harrismith, volunteers also visit their care recipients in Pretoria, north of Johannesburg, and invite them to join their ranks.
She is joining.
I'm going to join.
On her mouth. Did you say that you are joining us from today?
During the two-day trip, volunteers managed to recruit 24 local residents to join the Buddhist NGO.
So she can help her community from where she was born, to help those who are sick and the orphans. And the most one in her area, most of the people are the poor of the poorest. She's going to train them to come and join Tzu Chi.
Tzu Chi volunteers all hope to continue to bring love and care to this poverty-stricken country in the days ahead.
Is it possible to be happy despite being poor? In Zimbabwe, though living conditions are difficult for most residents, they nevertheless appreciate every good thing that happens in their lives. At a recent Tzu Chi's monthly rice distribution, a 103-year-old senior lent a helping hand. Meanwhile, at a visitation to a nursing home, volunteers gave bedridden seniors a haircut. In showing gratitude for the assistance received from Tzu Chi, many local residents sing and dance to express their joy.
Upon receiving bags of rice from Taiwan, residents young and old are all smiles.
Grandma is very happy. She is 98.
With inflation leading to an unemployment rate of 80% in Zimbabwe, Tzu Chi delivers rice each month to remote areas to help needy families through this difficult time. Villagers also lend a helping hand at the distribution, including a 103-year-old senior.
In Zimbabwe, it is rare to see someone who is 103 years of age.
Despite having to stand under the sun, local volunteers nonetheless demonstrate their humanitarian spirit throughout the distribution, which was held at the Rangu Elementary School.
We didn't bring rice with us on our home visits because it was too far and the road conditions weren't great, so that's why we invited them to the school.
Ask young people to do the same, and I wish if I could spread the love as they really have showed us to do so. They're teaching us love, to care for each other.
Besides the rice distribution, volunteers also arrive at a local nursing home.
We are giving these senior residents a haircut.
Volunteers did not forget to give bedridden seniors a haircut as well, an act which moved many to tears. Tzu Chi volunteer Zhu Chi also seizes the opportunity to explain how plastic bottles are not environmentally friendly.
We throw away, put underground to cover. Even 100 years later, it is still there.
Though never having been to Taiwan, the loving care of Tzu Chi is rooted deep in the hearts of many here.
In Canada, volunteers from the Tzu Chi West Toronto Liaison Office were invited to take part in this year's Karasaga Festival, where they seized the opportunity to promote recycling, and volunteers also introduced Tzu Chi's eco-friendly blanket. Meanwhile, the Tzu Chi Dallas chapter in the United States attended the Dallas International Fair, where volunteers invited participants to do good deeds by donating to the Bamboo Coin Bank each day.
Costumes, accessories, and dances from 85 different countries mark the opening of this year's Dallas International Festival, organized by the DWF International Community Alliance. As the Tzu Chi Dallas chapter was also invited to take part, volunteers all seized the opportunity to promote the Buddhist NGO to fairgoers. Moving to Canada, at the annual Karasaga Festival in Mississauga, Tzu Chi volunteers share with fairgoers the wisdom from Jingsi aphorisms. In another exhibition area, Tzu Chi volunteers explain how PET bottles are turned into the eco-friendly blankets used at the organization's relief work worldwide. For those who don't get it the first time, volunteers also thoughtfully prepared a DVD for them to take home. The spirit of great love that transcends all boundaries gives Tzu Chi many opportunities to promote its philosophy to people from all walks of life.
Back to China, Beijing Tzu Chi volunteers recently traveled to Hebei Province's Yi County to hand out scholarships to 180 students. The love and care volunteers have shown to these students have created a cycle of love as the students learn to pay the love forward to those suffering from the Ya'an earthquake. Some senior students even vow to be helpful people in society once they enter the workforce. Here's more.
It's been months since Tzu Chi volunteers' last visit to Hebei Province's Yi County. The students from Yi County Middle School have missed these parental figures.
My friends and I have been looking forward to this visit since March, and Tzu Chi volunteers are finally back. Every visit inspires different feelings such as freshness and excitement, but the feeling of kindness and warmth is consistent each time.
What Tzu Chi volunteers brought with them was not only financial assistance, but personal love and care for these students. Such acts of kindness end up being these students' greatest spiritual treasure during these last years before they enter college. Some senior students even make a promise.
I believe when Yi County Middle School students enter society, we will be able to extend a loving hand and bring love to all of society.
When volunteers show clips of TV's news footage encouraging students to give selflessly, many reflected and did their best to participate.
We're donating to the Ya'an earthquake survivors. Receiving your help, we are thankful and also hope Ya'an residents are able to get back on their feet and rebuild.
Tzu Chi volunteers' continuous care and love has motivated a cycle of love within the school as teachers encourage students to give back to society.
Students from this day forward, whether in school or in their personal life, need to dedicate their love and care to those who surround them to pay forward the love they've received.
Inspiring loving acts to repay society is giving the future hope.
Going to Malaysia, since March of this year, Kota Kinabalu Tzu Chi volunteers have established meal programs in local schools aimed at helping impoverished students. Currently, underprivileged students in 4 local schools have benefited from this program. First, let's go to St. Anthony Elementary School and Babagon Elementary School to see how the meal program there has changed students' lives for the better.
This is the scene at the Babagon Elementary School in Kota Kinabalu, Malaysia. To make sure impoverished students can study without going hungry, in March of this year, Tzu Chi established a meal program inside the school. Thanks to this program, these students can now better focus on their studies.
Nasi goreng kadang-kadang.
Nasi goreng saja? Setiap hari mama pun kasih nasi goreng?
Enggak, kadang-kadang tidak.
Jadi kalau tiada kosong perutlah pergi sekolah?
Enggak, minum air.
Bagus kah depan tuan?
Bagus.
Kenapa?
Hah? Sebab dapat meringankan beban ibu bapak.
Meanwhile, Tzu Chi's meal program has also extended help to students at the St. Anthony Elementary School. As most of the students come from farming families, their parents have no extra money to buy food.
Petang pukul berapa? 4. Kalau ada makan ini lunch kan? Boleh tahan sudahlah.
Boleh.
Macam mana mau belajar kalau sentiasa...
If the students go to school on empty stomachs, how can they concentrate on their studies? Tzu Chi's meal program has helped them tremendously. They can concentrate better when they are not hungry. The program especially helps out our grade 4, 5, and 6 students because they get off from school around 3:30 p.m.
Touched by Tzu Chi's kindness, in spite of her busy work schedule, St. Anthony Elementary School teacher Anita Arif decided to take on the responsibility of coordinating the meal program at her school.
Sebab saya pun pernah macam ini budak-budak.
I know how these children feel because I once suffered just like them. The workload is heavy, but I will try my best to help them.
Thanks to Tzu Chi's meal program, underprivileged students can now study without going hungry. The volunteers also vowed to continue their good work and help even more needy students in the years to come.
The staple food on Taiwan's offshore island of Penghu is seafood, so it has been difficult to get residents to change their eating habits and accept vegetarian food. However, Tzu Chi volunteers have not given up. Not only are there vegetarian cooking lessons available at the local Jingsi Hall, but volunteers were also recently invited to once again participate in the annual fundraiser hosted by Taiwan Fund for Children and Families, where they dazzle participants with their meat-free dishes.
On the offshore island of Penghu, every year Tzu Chi is invited to participate in a charity fundraiser hosted by the Taiwan Fund for Children and Families, where the food is always made fresh. Before 6 in the morning, volunteers are already getting busy in the kitchen, churning out favorites like stir-fried vermicelli and sticky rice, all of which are meatless.
At every fundraiser, we are always number 1. That is, the first to sell out of everything, while other stalls have plenty left.
The auction starts at 9 in the morning, and the crowd quickly gathers in front of Tzu Chi's stall. Ms. Lin, who came back from Jiayi to help her mom sell grass jelly, also promotes Tzu Chi's vegetarian food.
You cannot tell the dishes made by the sisters are vegetarian. They are so delicious.
Volunteers also see the opportunity to ask participants to embrace a vegetarian diet.
If you want to go eat vegetarian for breakfast or dinner, you make a dot here.
This card helps track the number of days they are vegetarian. For every meat-free day, they can make a dot on the card. There are 108 spaces total, which means 108 Buddhist blessings.
Seafood is the staple food on the archipelago, and it has been difficult to change residents' dieting habits. However, volunteers press on and even hold vegetarian cooking lessons at the local Jinsi Hall. All the ingredients are found locally, and with creativity, just simple toast and vegetables can be delicious.
The ingredients are not that complicated. You can use whatever you like. It's not bad.
A dozen vegetarian dishes are available here for participants to try. Having enrolled in the class, they are more confident that going meatless can help our planet. The tall Mr. Ye was brought up a vegetarian.
Being a vegetarian is healthier, especially now that there are so many food additives.
Enjoying vegetables is not that hard, as these people will tell you vegetarian dishes are delicious and healthy.
Staying in Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteers in Wanhua District organized a tea gathering on May 26th to thank recycling volunteers for working to safeguard our environment. The volunteers not only prepared delicious meatless meals for the attendees, but also invited a children's Chinese orchestra to put on a performance for all. Here's more.
To thank recycling volunteers for their efforts in protecting our planet, Wanhua Tzu Chi volunteers prepared delicious vegetarian dishes, while a children's Chinese orchestra was also invited to put on a performance.
It's good that our students can have a chance to practice before they go abroad. We are grateful that they can showcase their music to all recycling volunteers.
Over the years, the recycling volunteers in Wanhua District have continued to delightfully practice recycling at the Wandai Elementary School and have gradually motivated teachers and students to join their ranks. The school principal says he also wants to spread this great cause to more people.
We hope that the practice of recycling can help cleanse people's hearts so that everyone will follow the Tzu Chi volunteers in creating a world of kindness and generosity.
Wishing you all long lives and good health. Keep walking the Tzu Chi path forever.
Regardless of age, these recycling volunteers seize every opportunity to protect the environment and fully commit themselves to recycling work.
Since I have started doing recycling, it has been more than 10 years now. In that time, I've only taken 2 days off. The elderly have to seize every opportunity to make contributions to the society. I always tell myself, as long as I'm able to do recycling, I will not rest.
When I come here to do recycling, my worries just disappear. I feel very happy. Although I sweat after sorting recyclables, I feel my heart is light when I come home.
As the volunteers have shown us, recycling not only keeps people from worries and cleansing their hearts, but also helps safeguard our environment.
At the end of the show, we turn to the Philippines, where a massive fire happened inside New Divisorio Mall in Binondo, Manila, where over thousands of vendors and landlords were affected. Tzu Chi volunteers arrived on site to survey the needs of the victims and also provide emotional support for the time being. Some who have not heard of Tzu Chi before found their presence to be comforting in this chaotic time. We will leave you with these images. Thank you for watching, have a good weekend, and see you next week.